I went down to the lake that day. I only heard, I was in town one day when I heard that they were going to do a horse cull. Like he sort of kept a big secret from everyone. No one didn't know what was going on till I heard it from a fellow in town. So I jumped on the car and I drove out here and asked everyone out here if anyone knew what was going on here. And they told me, no, we don't know what's going on. So I drove out to the lake and I bumped into one bloke from the egg department. And he was telling me they're doing a horse cull. And he told me he got some expert shooters, and I said, I told him, what you doing on our land? And he said, we're working for the ALT. And I said to him, what ALT sent you out here to do their dirty work? But they wouldn't come and face the people themselves. So I was there when they were shooting, and they told me that they got an accurate bloke doing the shooting, that nothing will be sort of still walking around, and they'll do a clean shot. But when I drove out, and about 20 minutes after that, I drove down the road and I took a photo of a horse still walking around there with just blood running out of his shoulders. So that's just to prove that they didn't have an accurate shooter in them choppers. And also where they shot them horses is around the lake system where you can see the water levels. And even the photos that I took, like, as soon as that stirred floods, all them horses are going to get washed into the lake. And that's where a lot of our people and the kids go out swimming during the wet, and now they won't be able to do that now, at least for 2 years, because the water will be polluted, and a lot of them places, some of the water, when you get a lot of this rain, they used to drink a lot of that water, but now they can't.
We never tell them. They never even come in that meeting kind of here. We had meeting once and we told them in that meeting that Mark was going to go out and muster them horses with his boys. Mark had all the equipment that he could use for himself to do those work. But they didn't believe. I don't know what been happening. Like they might have been thinking that Mark wouldn't work. But anyway, they went out there, they didn't have a meeting with us, they never let us know, they sneaked through here, went out there shooting all the horses. They made their camp down at C25 near the lakeside, near the big lake. They never let us know until somebody came and said, must be Mark?
Yeah, I went down there.
Yeah, you said that, you seen those people? No. No one came here to let us know about the shooting.
I grew up here in the 1970s and that, when it was a fully thriving cattle station. All these people here had all their jobs that they were doing. Jack here, and I used to ride with Martin as a young fella. They all taught me how to handle the cattle and all that, these blokes here. All them horses now, the descendants of the horses that Jack and Martin, all these blokes had a part to do with when the station manager at the time brought in brand new Arab and Percher and stallions and old Pluto Manson and all that. I remember as a kid riding with all of them, and be out there mushing that, because this Sturt Creek Plain right down through is one of the best cattle grazing countries through the place. And those horses, what I've seen, I was reading about in the papers down south there, and I actually tried to make contact here, and then I got in touch with Mark Gordon, and he knew the history of the horses we were talking about. I said, those horses are just too good just to go and shoot. They're all beautiful thoroughbred horses of the bloodline, and and they wanted to get them and muster them all up to do all sorts of things now. Angus made the point, there's that many convoys of four-wheel drives coming up the Canning Stock route now, that they could have had a good little facility going at Lake Stretch there, have horse riding off in the sunset, like they have camels on the sunset over at Broome. And then any horses that they could muster different horses together. There's people that want to buy good horses to stock at the other stations and all that. The people here, been out there and seen. The fencing and all that Mark doing, getting it all up and that he's just been told to pull up and not to do because of lack of funding. Everyone here, Jack and all that, and Martin are saying they want to pass their knowledge on to the younger ones in the community to get it all back up and happening. But as Mark was saying, there seems to be a couple of people higher up that are putting their hand out, closing the doors here and there. But just to shoot them horses like they have out there, that's just wasting them, absolute waste.
Last time when talking about it, we thought that people can muster the horses and bring them and drop them out there and like put them with our young horses there and take them young horse once had an old horse, send them away somewhere into the crocodile farm or those other things, feed them up to the pet medical or the dog, some of them think keep it away, and save them with our young horses, bring them in the horses and but nothing now. All our horses spring.
Dan, I remember Tom when you wasn't mustering season. I remember Jack and Martin they'd saddle up horse and that for all us young kids and that. We'd be riding around in the old yards that used to be out there and that, all over the place.
Now when we went in back that working order run up mountain from you. Lot of working order from you. Maybe joke like anyway. That's what we went by. So a lot of them would have got shot too when they ran with them rummies, but they would have had 48 horses of Ruby too, Ruby Blade. I think they were mine horses too everywhere from and I know I left 15 that when I did that much, I left 15 working horses here. But they would have been running that day with them and they would have all got shot.
Mark's a true leader of his people. And they're all wanting to follow him for him to, but he's leading the way for them to do this and do that and get all these things happening. But, it needs funding and resources as well to be able to do that. And, people like yourself who grew up here and I've come back to visit, but I love the land as much as the people. And, I'm not here to make money or anything. Sure, if I ever do come and work here, I need an income, of course, to pay, my own way. But it's more because you come out and it's your country to work and get it happening. It's supposed to be.
Well, that's what we're going to prove. Once we get this place up and running, we're going to prove to them that we get young kids out there riding horses and doing mustering and back out in the stock camp. We're going to prove to them. Once we get some funding from somewhere, we're going to prove to them that we can do it. We're going to show them what leadership we got, for our people, what leadership I got.
Right, as a chairperson in this community, I'll support him. I'll support his land and for my people. I'll support it. Because I've been brought up in this place and I don't want to see the station go away. We're going to try and build them up again.
And that's the only way it's going to work, only from the people here, from the ground roots people. People that live here and born here, that's the only people that make get this place up and running here. Nobody from the outside that will come and do it for us. We're going to show to them that we can do it ourselves. And we're going to prove to them that what we can do. Now, provided we have that help, with all the material and that, I know we can provide the workforce.
We need all the things that what we need for the station. We got Mark here to help us for station side, and he's here to me. What else more? I can't tell you anything anymore. You came here to took the things back from us. We got to tell you something to do. You come here to listen and to not to knock back the people what we want. What we want for the land and for the station side. Because we've seen all this. We've seen the station, how white people can raise money. And we've been working for white people too, doing all the things. Now we can run it our own, not this time when we got some of our people, like I got Mark, he know how to do everything out in the station.
Benefit the community a lot, we have training there for the young kids. It's all about getting all the young kids back in the saddle. Like, we already lost 2 generations of that, by young kids. Like, we still got a lot of them older ringers still around. And if we can start getting this place up and running, that's what's going to create a job for each and every one of us in the community. And get all the young kids back into riding horses, like teach them to get back at the saddle and tail cattle. And make good ringers out of them, because at the end of the day, like helicopter getting so expensive, we got to all get back to horse riding, and that's what we're trying to push for now as all the traditional owners. We want to push to get all the young kids back, like a lot of our kids now, they all in town running a big market, even in the community. We need to get them all back in the station, get some of these old fellas to teach them how to ride a horse, teach them how to tail cattle, teach them back into the stock life again, Like there's a big role there for each and every one of us. That's what we're asking for a fair go, to give us the funding, give us the infrastructure, we'll put it up. We'll do the work. The ground roots people will do the work. All we need is some people to give us the funding or buy some material, chuck it out there for us, we'll get it happen. This is my grandfather country. Manguljanga, 2 brothers. One tree that got burnt to Billiuna, another one across here. That's the 2 brothers. That's what I've been told from my old people, my auntie, all my old traditional owner what been telling me. And this place they call Billiuna, Lake Stretch. This is the country for my grandfather, from all me, Angus, and all the family, Vincent, Auntie Lenny, this whole traditional country. That's why I come back now to try and put everything together and run it for our people and for our kids and for our generation to come here. But this is the land that all our grandparents used to live off. This country was rich in those days. But hopefully we can get it back to that level how our grandparents had it years ago. But this is Lake Stretch here now, where we are now.